Hi, Beach Channel. I'm Max Weiler, and you're watching Bald Guys Finance. And I'm here with my favorite bald guy, Scott Sim. Scott, you're a recent bald guy. You had hair 2-3 years ago.
I'm taking it off with a razor, so I still have some, but it's big strips on the side, nothing on top.
It's been so long, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
So it's been at least 20 years, and I don't miss it.
No.
Hair is a lot of work.
No, my wife's like, "Oh, I got to do my hair." I'm like, "Okay, that's an hour."
My favorite thing is if you work later, have to get up early, or you go on a trip with somebody, everybody else looks like crazy. You just wake up, you look fine.
You look great.
Yeah,
you look well manicured. I drive around. I got this little thing. Is that my hair? I said, I'm coming over here. I got to do this thing with Max.
Well, our viewers probably don't want to hear about our hair challenges, so we should probably get to the subject today, right?
Okay.
So what are we talking about? We're talking apps, technology for saving money.
Okay.
Yeah. We're old guys. What do we know about technology to save money?
Yeah, we are. And, having a 30-year-old in the business that just joined us, she's modernizing everything we're doing. And, I'm from the days where you wrote it down on a notepad. All my accounting was done on a notepad.
Right.
All my checks were hand delivered. In fact, they still are. I mean, I spend probably an hour and a half a week at the bank teller line making deposits.
But we're still quick. If we can save money or whatever, we're quick to embrace technology if it saves us money, right? Like you got that Schwab app, doesn't cost you anything,
Schwab
right?
app is great, yeah.
Me too.
That's a wonderful platform. It's very user friendly. It's very easy. I log on. I have facial recognition on my accounts, and and it works.
And it doesn't cost anything, right?
It doesn't cost anything, yeah.
Yes, exactly. You miss your favorite part of it.
It doesn't cost anything. And it's good and it's secure. It's that's something we haven't talked about. We probably should talk about is, cybersecurity. But with those large platforms, they're very secure because they have 2-point authentication, meaning that they got to check your identity twice. And so I feel very confident dealing with, the banks and the brokerage accounts that I use from a security standpoint, because we've been hacked a couple times on different platforms, but I know that's not the topic.
Gets a little scary though when you get that request for confirmation and you haven't done anything.
Right. No, or you
then
see,
you
see somebody's opened up a credit card in your name and $1,700 has gone out the window.
All right. Well, we're talking bad about apps, and we're supposed to talk good about apps. So let's go through some basic ones. I mean, day to day, if you do fast food or whatever else, and I'm the fat one in this group, so
you're the expert on this.
Yeah, I know those. If you're doing fast food, you better be using the apps because you get points and everything else, and you get discounts. McDonald's app is the greatest app going. Coffee, 99 cents.
Never used it. Never used it.
You never? Do you drink McDonald's coffee?
On occasion.
You're paying $1 more. Oh my gosh.
I drive all the way
time.
down to the Accord studio to get their coffee because they have the best knockoff Dunkin' Donuts coffee in town. Let me tell you, it's good. And then the water here is great too. You don't spring for the spring water. You go with that artificial stuff. But
you mean the purified water?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like 50 cents cheaper.
At least it's more than that, I think.
I got a stomachache when I leave here.
All right, so apps. What about airline apps?
I don't fly a lot. The apps I use, Max, are Charles Schwab, and it's super user-friendly. It's easy. I can see what my investments are doing on a real-time basis. I can make trades. I can move
on your
money
phone.
On my phone. I can move money. I can put money into different accounts. I can wire somebody. It's wonderful, and that's where the world is today.
Well, what about cash apps? You use Zelle or any of those?
I've used the Apple Pay. For the first time, I used it twice, and in both instances, I left my wallet at the house. And,
so you were forced to use it.
I was forced, and I handed it over to the teller and said, "How do I do this?" And she plugged it in and made the transaction. But what a convenience, though! It saved me driving back to my house. So I think all those are great. They're automated. They keep good record keeping.
You can keep coupons on those things and all that. I love those.
Yeah.
The BJ's app, wholesale, you get all their coupons on there. You can track them. You can even purchase everything and just have them bring it out to the car. I like walking around though. Need the exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, I'm a dinosaur as it relates to new technology.
What about your business? There's a lot of technology stuff.
We recently changed. So, our core business is real estate. We broker real estate, but we also, own properties and we collect rents. And so the rental collection process is one that we recently switched to an app into as an automated app where, we went from getting hard checks sent in the mail
right,
and hearing all the excuses why the mail didn't deliver their end, and that's why we're late on our payment.
which were probably true with the way the post office goes. But anyway, go on.
Could be, but we went online. We automated it so that the tenants pay electronically through an app that basically will summarize everything, put it into a profit and loss.
Right.
It'll have a tracking record: who's on time, who owes a late fee, who hasn't paid, how much in arrears is one tenant versus the other. And it's great. I mean, we literally just started that like 2 months ago. So
Right.
I'm working through that. And
Is it one specifically to your industry, or is it?
is. Yeah, they have them
okay.
there's a lot of real estate software available that will track rental income. If you have less than 40 units or 40 tenants, you get priced out that way. If you go above 40, it's a different price plan. But the idea is that you have a portal that both the tenant and the owner can access. And so what's nice about it is if a tenant says, if they've been paying on your app for the last, 2 years, and now all of a sudden there's a discrepancy. Oh, I paid. No, you didn't pay. And, so instead of having to track down checks and things like that, you say, hey, there's nothing on the app.
Right.
You prove to me you pay. It registers every time you pay.
What are some things? There's some things I don't. There's some apps I don't like because they're constantly selling you stuff. I go in there. I got the app. I don't want to be sold any other stuff. What about you?
No, I don't either. I always click the do not disturb, whatever it's called.
Do not disturb.
I always choose to, no, I don't want to be followed. I don't want to be tracked down, and it's
Tell me when a discount is in the area, stuff like that.
On our phone, it's like we were shopping for boats on my phone, and then I go home, and all of a sudden a boat shows up on my. I'm like, this is scary. This is
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Talking around your phone, automatically you're going to get ads and stuff like that. Yeah, and I don't think anybody denies it now. They used to deny it, but it's definitely there. And we're old guys, so we can kind of make fun of older people because we're getting in that age group or else. I love when somebody comes up to me and they say, "Can you call me an Uber?"
That's
like you're supposed to call a number or something.
Good.
You use Uber and Lyft and all
Uber,
that.
yeah, and not a lot, but I love Uber. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a lifesaver. I mean, it's, if
Right.
you're traveling or if you forgot your keys or all kinds of things, if you don't have a car that day.
Right.
There are people, many people who just use Uber. They don't have a car.
Well, I mean, money-wise, it probably makes sense with insurance and cost of car and now parking. If you live in Brickell, I think you can justify it just by not paying the parking.
No, and that whole industry is evolutionizing itself. I mean, I think, and it relates to real estate because, in Miami-Dade now, they are approving projects that don't have parking. And what people are doing is, these are the projects that are next to the metro rail stations in what are called transit-oriented developments,
Right.
where they want to encourage people to move in and around these public transportation hubs,
Right.
and get the cars off the road. And one developer is looking at a project where he's going to have 6 Tesla charging stations with
Right.
6 Teslas there for the community to use.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, I think I use Metro Rail and Tri-Rail and all that more than you do, right?
Yeah.
You have you used it or
Yeah.
whatever? I mean, they got a long way to go. I mean, they got this mentality, what is just, it's not a business mentality to get on time. So if you're going to use that stuff, you got to have some time. You can't be on a schedule, is what
Well,
I've
you look
found.
at the major cities. You look at New York. You look at Boston. You look at their transit systems, which work. I would say I'm not. I haven't experienced it, but I hear they're really good and they've figured it out.
New York, you better make your vaccines are up to date because those places are so dirty. It's incredible.
You better have a
Oh, yeah.
bodyguard
I feel
with
like
you,
I'm going
too.
to catch something when I'm in those things. They've never pressure cleaned in 40 years, I don't think, those sections or whatever. But there is a good app for Tri-Rail and Metro Rail. It doesn't coordinate for some reason. I don't know why, but it coordinates as far as the costs and all that. And with traffic in South Florida, especially heading to Broward sometimes a day, it's less stressful. I don't know. I don't think I could beat my car even in the worst case scenario because they just don't give a doggone as far as being timely. But it's a good scenario. If you didn't have to switch from Metro Rail to Tri-Rail and just took continuous, it would work pretty good. But the switchover, they don't talk to each other. They're different government agencies. I don't even want to get into that. That's a different subject. That's not technology or whatever. So are there any apps now that you can't live without? You use daily?
I mean, I've automated the rent collection and property management side of our business. Recently, I would say we're transitioning, and again, it's led by my younger daughter, who we're also switching platforms that, just makes things simpler. And real estate, just by way of example, let's say you have an open house, you're selling a house. Historically, you'd print out 25 5-page brochures that highlight everything about the property. Our daughter has initiated an electronic. Come in, you scan the card, all that data goes right to your phone. Carry it with you. You don't have to waste paper, carry stuff around with you. Now, some of the older generation pushes back. They're like, "Oh,
want some paper?
I want to look at this. Why don't you have brochure?" Well,
Right, because they can't see like us, right? Oh, you're an environmentalist. Yeah. It's saving you 10 cents a sheet of paper or whatever, right?
That too. Yeah. But I think investing in technology is a wise investment. Anything you can do to simplify the process of, in this case, selling real estate.
Well, on your rentals too, I don't know if you do it, but I'm going to Colorado. I get my Colorado shirt on. I'm going to Colorado day after tomorrow, and I can adjust all the heaters and air conditioning and everything else from my phone 2,500 miles away. I do it for our buildings too. I don't know if you know.
That's big time, Max.
What's that, big time? Yeah. What, control on those?
Man, you're on top of it.
Or,
you're living large.
Yeah, but we can save, especially during the winter or something else, you can save a couple $100 a month just watching that closely.
Absolutely.
And you can only do that with technology. You couldn't do that
in
otherwise.
large buildings, in large office buildings that operate on what's called a chiller, which is like one big unit that climate controls the whole building. They set all that stuff up and they monitor it because it's electricity. The bill is huge for a big office building.
Cooling? Oh my gosh.
And they can automate that to adjust to the different temperatures of the day, which are a huge savings at the end of the year.
And they can do it to movement.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
After 6 o'clock or something else, it goes off. And if they have a person, and I love now where it's not just movement, because if you get a rodent problem or something, the AC doesn't pop on. It's to people, which is cool.
Unless it's a big rodent, which we've had. I've enjoyed watching you pulling an iguana out of the toilet here at our rental building. That was great.
How come? This is going off subject a little bit, non-technology, but everybody talks about the great things about real estate and all the gains and everything else. They don't show the pictures of them pulling iguanas out of toilets and stuff. What is that?
That's a classic, Max. I've been doing it over 40 years. I've never seen anyone pull an iguana out of a woman's toilet.
Yeah.
And you did that, so.
Well, the worst part was calming the lady who was sitting on that toilet when that iguana was discovered. The scream was chilling or whatever. I would scream too.
Are there any pending lawsuits?
None that I know of, but she let loose as far as a scream.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So
I appreciate her enthusiasm. But I laughed so hard when you sent me that picture of you grabbing an iguana out of the toilet.
That wasn't the first one. That was the second one.
That's property management. For any young person looking to get into property management, to get into real estate, text Max and he'll send you a picture of him pulling an iguana out of the toilet.
Oh, great. Well, I think, and I've gone to some of your properties in the past, help you with possums and things like that in the closet, remember? Oh, God.
That was horrible.
That was terrible.
That wasn't a pretty picture.
Yeah. So anyway, so technology, we want to embrace it. In my business, technology is very, very important. And I think that's why I've never been stuck in my ways on this stuff. A lot of people get like, oh God, don't tell me any new technology. Don't tell me new technology. In my business, you die with that mentality.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother subject matter for you because it changes so much and things become obsolete. And you're rolling the dice on your next purchase of some high-end technology because they're expensive and
it's not as expensive as it was, but it's trickier because the technology, it goes old quickly. You used to be able to look out 3 years and see revenue on it. It's very hard to do that now. In our area, as far as what technology is allowed to on the stock trading, I'm not a big day trader, but from time to time we'll talk and I'll go, hey, Scott, Google went up 5% today. I think I'm going to sell and buy back in when it drifts back down. What do you think? All that you don't do much of the
I
day
don't do a
trading
lot
stuff.
of that, but it's a good point, Max, because I can tell you that having been in the stock market for a while and worked through people who would have to actually execute a trade, like on an account. Let's say you have an account and you don't have direct control over it.
Right.
You have to have a third party execute a trade. Let's say you have.
Do they do that anymore? I remember doing that years ago.
Well, they like let's say you have a trust, or let's say you have a 401k
Right.
that is run through your company, and any trades have to be vetted by the manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to if you want to make a trade, you pick the phone up, call that person, and say, hey, Apple dropped 12% today. I want to buy. Well,
Right.
if you make that call at 10 o'clock in the morning and you don't hear back from that agent until
It's closed the
3:30,
gap.
that opportunity may have passed. So that's one reason I really like this automated trading, because
Right.
you can do it when you want it and you can do it right away. And a lot of times these companies will spike and they'll drop in the same day.
Yeah, we text each other sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll go,
Right.
hey, such and such is down
Yeah.
8%, and we'll buy. And by the time the end of the day, it's only down 5, or we've made 3% in
Yeah.
2 hours.
Right.
Which, once again, I like that in tax deferred accounts, not in the taxable accounts, because all that extra tax and income and stuff complicates it.
Well, yeah, and just to clarify why you do that, okay, for someone who's not invested or traded in stocks, if you do that in your retirement account, and let's say you buy a stock and you sell a stock in the same day, less than 1 year, you're only taxed on a capital gains basis on the gain, which is 23%, whatever it is.
Right.
I'm sorry, in your retirement account, you're not taxed at all.
Right.
You can make a gain and not pay tax, because that money, you don't have to pay tax until you
Until you pull it out.
Yeah. But on a regular account, that's not an IRA or a SEP or a self-directed pension plan, if you make that trade during the same day, or if you make a gain during a period of less than 1 year, you have to pay your ordinary income tax.
Yeah.
So you're paying a higher income tax. So you've said several times, I make trades, but I do it in your IRA account.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why, for someone who was wondering why you make it in your IRA, that's the reason why you make it in your IRA.
Because
account.
remember, years ago, we had those guys who it was all back, it had to be 20 years ago now. We put some money in with some trader guys,
Yeah.
and they made a fortune,
Yeah.
but we had a tax bill at the end what was gigantic. You remember that?
A lot of trades.
Yeah.
A lot of trades, a lot of short-term trades. I don't remember at the end of the day if we were plus or minus.
We were plus, but we got out at the right time because it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I talked and said, let's take our money and not be greedy and leave. And they got mad at it. But right after that I think that's 2007 came, and everybody took a beating then.
That's true.
Yeah. So the the technology the day traders too kind of make that curve soften a little bit, because when they see big moves like that, they're all jumping on it. So they make it worse, then they make it better.
Right.
Yeah. All because of this technology.
But I know you follow certain stocks for the specific purpose of, let's call it, day trading them.
Oh yeah.
So like some of your oil stocks, you'll follow
And the tobacco
them,
stocks.
and the tobacco stocks, and they're going up and down, but their long-term trend is up.
Yeah.
But you're actually participating in the highs and the lows and making intraday trades, which is great. I don't do that. I just hold on to my stuff.
Well, my rule on that is I like to trade the ones where if I get caught, I don't mind holding them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's good.
Altera or whatever else, it's got a great dividend. It's got great growth potential. It goes up 6 or 7%, or goes down 4 or 5%, and I buy it, and it doesn't recover quickly, I don't mind. I'm getting paid to wait and all the other things. So I don't know if I'd want to do that on some of these ones. What people trade, what's the game manufacturer, the game rental place, went big?
GameStop.
Yes, GameStop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't want to own GameStop long term.
No, those are people taking huge positions, and they see they've been oversold. I mean, that whole.
But that's all a game and momentum. That's not buying profit. At the end of the day, when you're investing, you're buying profit.
Yeah.
And if you're not buying profit, when the music stops, you better have a seat.
Yeah, and the other thing there, Max, is there's a difference in, I don't know how specific you want to get, but like growth stocks versus value stocks. A growth stock is a stock that makes money, but they usually don't pay a dividend, or if they do, it's a very small dividend because they're a growth company, and a growth company is going to take their earnings and put their earnings back into the company, back into research and development, back into IT investments. And what happens is they keep growing the company so that they keep making more money.
Well, that's the theory.
And then the value stock is like a Bank of America.
Right.
Its PE ratio is very low, pays a nice dividend, and they're distributing their profits in the way of dividends, and their numbers, their debt to equity ratio, their book value, how they trade to their book value. All of these things are much more sound and fundamental from an underwriting standpoint, but they're not going to grow as much as, let's say, an AI.
Well, that's why when people just trade purely on PE, that's a mistake, because you can have a high PE where the guy's growing or the company's growing like crazy and they'll match it, whereas you have a low PE and they're going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. So recap, technology, don't be afraid of it. Right? Even if you're old guys?
Even as an old person, embrace it. It will simplify your life. It'll, make things a lot easier.
Yep. For the airlines, you get points. For the fast food things, McDonald's, fantastic. Love it. There's some apps are better than others on those things. Rental cars, all those hotel ones. To me, it's all great. I love them. I love the good ones. The bad ones, I think they mess up the whole industry on that thing. And then if you're stock trading, if you're calling somebody up, if you're forced to call somebody up, you're way behind. So any other thing on that?
You and I both just got rid of a guy who we had to call up. So we definitely like to manage these things ourselves.
Yeah. Well, that just shows how it changes, and you got to be with change. Because I remember my first investment when I was like 13 years old. I bought Ryder truck stock, 100 shares, and I went down to the place on my bicycle and gave them the money, and the fee was like $85 for this $1,500 stock or something else. Oh. Yeah, crazy. So embrace technology. All right, Beat Channel, that's Bald Guys Finance. We'll see you next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like the video, follow the channel, and leave a comment. Scott loves